Montana is known for producing Olympians in sports like skiing, but 50 years ago, the state made its mark in sliding sports as well.
Tonight, MTN's Jonathan Ambarian looks at how Lolo Hot Springs became the first hub for luge here in the U.S.
Ellen Henry first heard about luge in 1964 as a high schooler watching the Olympics with her father.
It looked kind of interesting, but other than that, I didn't know what it was like.
Jim Murray remembers watching newsreel footage of bobsled races as a boy. That memory stuck with him years later when he was a student at the University of Montana and saw a flyer for a new Luge Club being formed.
I just happened to read the first sentence, and it says luge, similar to bobsledding. That's what started it all.
Both Henry and Murray became members of that UM Luge Club. Within 4 years, they would go from novices to U.S. Olympic athletes. It's a journey that started at Lolo Hot Springs in the mountains west of Missoula. After luge made its Olympic debut in 1964, Montana businessmen came up with the idea of creating a track of their own at the resort. It would become the first luge track in the U.S.
None of these guys knew how to build a track or anything about it. They just saw one and figured, well, we can do that.
When students traveled to Lolo to practice, they found there was still a lot of work to do.
We're out there with a shovel and a hose, and it's cold and making slush, and, well, this looks about right.
The area behind me might look like a typical trail, but managers at Lolo Hot Springs believe this is the location of the original luge run. More than 50 years ago, you could have seen the sliders of the UM Luge Club honing their skills right here. Running down the Lolo track was a unique experience.
I remember going down it, rattling around, then kind of jumped the track and went on the pedestrian track and jumped back in, and I won. And I'm thinking, this is crazy.
The people who built the Lolo run hoped to host championships until warm weather made it too difficult to maintain. But the students who learned the sport there were starting to gain attention. When the U.S. Luge Team for the 1968 Olympics in Grenoble, France was chosen, 4 Lolo sliders made the cut, including Murray and all 3 female competitors: Henry, then known as Ellen Williams, UM student Sheila Johansson, and Miles City High Schooler Kathleen Roberts. The team's coach and manager also came from Montana. After their runs on the Olympic track, the Lolo racers finished in the middle of the pack, but they say they had plenty to be proud of.
We all finished, and we were all good sports, and that's what they were looking for.
Murray went on to compete for the U.S. at the 1972 and 1976 Olympics, then serve as a team manager in 1980.
So it's been a good run.
Henry didn't try for another Olympics. Today she lives outside Clinton, Montana. She still has the sled she used in the games.
I am so lucky and so blessed to have been able to do that.
There isn't much left at Lolo Hot Springs to remind visitors of its place in winter sports history. Much of the old luge track is now part of the resort's disc golf course. But the people who learned the sport there are proud of what they accomplished.
For lack of a better term, we laid the foundation for what they have today.
Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News, Lolo Hot Springs.
An intriguing piece of Montana history. Thanks, Jonathan.
Great story.
Great story.